Police arrest at least 20 people at the Pride March in Mendiola, Manila on Friday, June 26. The protesters were observing physical distancing and other health protocols when the police arrived to disperse them. The police did not cite any violations while arresting the protesters and only told them it's against the law without citing any specific law. The Bahaghari-led protest was held to celebrate Pride Month and to oppose the anti-terrorism bill. Bahaghari spokesperson Ray Valmores Salinas argues while being taken away that they were just exercising their rights.
Wala silang sinasabi ng mga violations na nailabag kasi wala silang masasabing violations na nailabag. At ngayon po, dinampot po kami dito, 20 po kami na andito na illegal na inaresto ng kapulisan.
Meanwhile, 4 suspected terrorists and their supporters are killed in a police raid in Parañaque City past midnight on Friday, June 26. Police reports say the suspects attempted to hurl a hand grenade at the cops and soldiers, but it went off prematurely. The law enforcers broke into the house and brought the 4 suspects to the ospital ng Parañaque, where they were declared dead on arrival. All have alleged links to the Abu Sayyaf and Islamic State or ISIS groups. Police intelligence reports say the suspects were members of the Daula Islamiyya financial conduit. Daula Islamiyya is the ISIS-affiliated faction of the Abu Sayyaf group. One of the suspects is said to have received remittances from Indonesian terrorist Yoga Fabrianto, who allegedly helped plan the Holo Cathedral attack in January 2019. In other news, police intimidated a GMA News radio reporter on Thursday, June 25, after completing a live traffic report along Marcos Highway in Marikina City. In a Facebook post, DZWB reporter Mark Macalalad recounts he was approached by 4 policemen who told him he should have asked permission before reporting live. There's no order from the Philippine National Police to require the media to ask for permission before it can cover an event. One of the policemen also told him, "You might be an enemy." Macalalad asked Guillermo Eleazar, the general in charge of implementing quarantine rules, to comment on whether the police had any basis to accost him. Eleazar said there was none. The PNP has yet to respond. Over 90 checkpoints are set up in Cebu City since Environment Secretary Cimatu arrived in the city as the new deputy implementer of anti-COVID-19 efforts in the Visayas. At least 150 more police, including an undisclosed number of Special Action Force troopers, have already arrived. Villagers report helicopters dropped COVID-19 information pamphlets in their areas. With the coronavirus death toll in Cebu City doubling to 100 in just a week, Cebuanos Online ask, can the police and military pulverize the contagion with their weapons and tanks and stop the deaths from accelerating? The number of coronavirus cases in the Philippines rises to 34,073 as the Department of Health reports over 1,000 new cases on Friday, June 26. The nationwide death toll is at 1,224 and recoveries at 9,182. This is the second time this week that fresh cases numbered more than 1,000. Experts project cases may reach 40,000 by June 30 as the government eases quarantine restrictions. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says the interagency task force already had recommendations on the quarantine classifications post-June.
Nagkaroon po siyempre ng rekomendasyon kung anong magiging applicable quarantine restrictions sa mga iba't ibang mga lugar sa Pilipinas, pero ito po ay pinagbibigay alam muna sa mga LGUs para kung gusto po nila mag-apela.
Roque says President Rodrigo Duterte will announce his decision on these recommendations by Monday, June 29. The parents of Philippine Military Academy Cadet Dormitorio says they were dissatisfied with the Baguio City prosecutor's resolution on the hazing which led to their son's death in September 2019. The Baguio City prosecutor's office on Wednesday, June 24, indicted PMA Cadets Shalimar Imperial and Felix Lumbag Jr. and PMA Station Hospital doctors Captain Flor Apol Apostol, Major Maria Ofelia Beloy, and Lieutenant Colonel Cesar Candelaria for murder. Imperial and Lumbag allegedly hazed Dormitorio to the point of killing him, while the station hospital doctors were tagged for their alleged negligence. 2 others are indicted for inflicting physical injuries, but the prosecutors dismissed murder, hazing, and other charges against 5 other cadets for lack of probable cause. Prosecutors also cleared former PMA Superintendent Lieutenant General Ronnie Evangelista and former Commandant of Cadets Brigadier General Bartolome Vicente Bacaro of charges of dereliction of duty and violating the anti-hazing and anti-torture laws. Dormitorio had been at the PMA barely 2 months when he was found unconscious in his dormitory before dawn on September 2019. A police investigation revealed Dormitorio was continually harassed, beaten, electrocuted, humiliated, abused, and ultimately killed by upperclassmen. 31 human rights experts from the United Nations call for the need for an on-ground, independent, and impartial investigation into the human rights situation in the Philippines. In a joint statement, the experts call on the International Criminal Court to expedite and prioritize the completion of its preliminary examination of the situation in the Philippines. This comes after the release of a comprehensive report by the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights on the widespread killings in the Philippines under President Rodrigo Duterte. The experts also warn the government's attempt to fast-track a new anti-terrorism bill will further dilute human rights safeguards. In a statement, Malacanang says the Philippine government notes the recommendations made by the OHCHR but cannot commit to their full implementation given the faulty conclusions on which they were premised. The human rights experts also note the silencing of independent media, critics, and the opposition. They condemn the move to revoke the license of Rappler and the charges CEO Maria Ressa is facing, as well as the shutdown of the Philippines' biggest broadcast network, ABS-CBN. Messaging platform Viber is cutting ties with Facebook. In a report by The Guardian, Viber pulled all advertising from Facebook and Instagram last Wednesday, June 24, and will continue to remove all Facebook technology from Viber's own apps. Viber CEO Jamel Aguya says they're cutting ties because of Facebook's poor judgment in understanding its role in today's world. He adds, quote, "We are not the arbiters of truth, but the truth is, some people are suffering from the proliferation of violent content and companies must take a clear stand." Critics point out that Facebook, the world's largest social network, isn't doing nearly enough to tackle its long list of problems from hate speech, disinformation to data privacy. Facebook refuses to regulate US President Donald Trump's political ads, unlike Twitter. Viber will be taking out its login with Facebook button and remove Facebook-owned Jiffy. In today's fact check, a story on social media about terror group Abu Sayyaf thanking actors and politicians for opposing the anti-terrorism bill is false. The post mentions Representatives Carlos Zarate, Sara Elago, Senators Kiko Pangilinan, Risa Ontiveros, Laila De Lima, Frank Drilon, lawyer Chel Jokno, and celebrities Enchung D and Coco Martin. Facebook page Bayan Ko PH shared the false claim from website asianpolicy.press on June 18. Facebook's monitoring tool Claim Check flags the post. It was reported at least 7 times on the platform for containing false information. In the blog post by asianpolicy.press shared by Bayan Ko PH, it says the information came from a meme that was made only for fun. This was not reflected in the post by Bayan Ko PH, and the comments show its readers believe the terror group really thanked the protesters. The blog post has already been taken down.